Hello everyone, I'm Kalen North, and today we're going to be doing another level 6 adversary challenge. Today's matchup is going to be Bringer against Brandenburg-Prussia 6. This is a matchup where we're basically just going face while they go face, and so we're going to see if we can outfear them before they outblight us. We'll be playing with Branching Claw on and Events on, and we won't be using a scenario today. Alright, Brandenburg-Prussia starts in the sands and the mountains, and we're going to go ahead and start with a growth 4. We're going to use our usual strat of trying to spam fear. I'm going to be starting out slightly differently, though. I'm going to start with Dreams of the Dahan and Predatory Nightmares turn 1. Reason for this is that we're going to try and set up some counters to try and limit the impact of Brandenburg-Prussia's turn 2 Ravage. And we're going to be able to do a little bit better with that, and then start spamming Fear on turn 3. So we'll turn up a Fear card. Each player may gather a town into a coastal land, alright. And then Dreams of the Dahan, I'm going to pull 2 Dahan into land 5 from land 1. Night Terrors gets us a little Fear. Invaders build. They explore the sands again, which is a little unfortunate. And the escalation, we're going to put the town in land 2. So Predatory Nightmares, we're going to use to shove the town from land 5 along with those 2 Dahan we pulled in. We're going to just shove the town straight into land 2. And then we're going to put, let's see, we've got our Fear card coming up is lets us gather a town into a coastal land. So we can take care of land 8 by grabbing a town into land 1 with that. So I'm going to push these Dahan into land 7 in order to deal with that land. We're going to let land 4 blight and then blight again, which is unfortunate, but we don't really have too much of a choice. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and gain a major power card. I'm going to gain one with a growth option rather than just going via Calm Midnight Streams, because I want Calm Midnight Streams for extra fear in land 7 this turn. We're going to try and defend it against BP6's Ravage. As far as these go, Blazing Renewal could be quite nice. We get to destroy a bunch of towns and push them, get some presence back. Tsunami is good for generating lots of fear on the coasts. It is a little expensive, though, and Jungle Hungers is a nice power that we could possibly threshold, but is more likely going to just be taking out towns and not causing quite as much fear. Fire and Flood is a little overpriced. Tsunami does what it does, but better, almost. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take Tsunami in this situation, and I'm going to forget Predatory Nightmares. Add another presence. I'd like to keep a Sacred Site on the coast, so I'm going to go ahead and do that in land 2, and then play Calm Midnight Dreams and Dread Apparitions. So Dread Apparitions gets us a fear and lets us start on that. We can stop invaders from ravaging in a land with Dahan, which is not going to be too useful to us, unfortunately. Or a land that's adjacent to enough Dahan, which is also not going to be too useful. But we are going to just gain a bunch of fear there and get that defend 5 going. Invaders surge inland, so we can push the town from land 3. I'm going to go ahead and push it into land 4. Let's see. Oh, we get defend 1 per Dahan in each land during Ravage with Canny Defense. So I am going to push it into land 4 still. And that's going to just remain our problem land. And then I'm going to go ahead and destroy a town in land 2. We gather a town from land 8, as we discussed. Tread carefully, unfortunately, doesn't really do too much for us. We want to skip it. Invaders ravage in sands and mountains. We clear 1 sand. 1 sand becomes a major problem. But that's all right. We'll still be able to deal with that later. I'm going to put the escalation town in land 3. Let them explore the mountains again. And then we're going to take a blight and a cascade in land 4 this turn, but we're also going to start generating oodles and oodles of fear. So, I'm going to go ahead and go for Dreams of the Dahan from our discard pile in order to set up a little extra fear and set up some Dahan in land 5 to prevent both a cultural assimilation hit and also to deal with the ravage that we're going to get in land 5 next turn. Meanwhile, Tsunami is going to hit land 2, and we're going to start trying to generate as much fear as we possibly can there. So, reclaim 1, I'm going to reclaim Dreams of the Dahan, place a presence. I'm going to place that extra presence in land 2, just because we might start losing presence there at some point, and we really want to keep that sacred site on the coast. So, Spirits May Yet Dream, first off. I don't like to reveal this fear card. I like to sort of see what the next one's going to be, to plan around it a little bit more. So I am going to just take a look at this next card rather than the one we've already earned. Alright, so that lets us ping damage per Dahan, which is going to be really nice if we set up enough Dahan in one of these lands, either 5 or 8. I'm going to do it in land 5 to try and prevent the Blight Cascade. And then Night Terrors gets us a little closer to that fear. Years of Little Rain. Alright, I believe the only way we can ease the drought is by forgetting Tsunami, and we don't really want to do that even for a proliferation. So we're going to let the land wither. Yeah, we're going to have to let the land wither here, which is unfortunate. But click a land, add Blight to it. We add the Blight to land 7, take a presence loss. Scapegoats, Ravage, Blighted Island. Ooh, Aid from Lesser Spirits. We're going to go ahead and keep that one, actually. I think that with the board setup we have, with Mountains coming up next, we can actually play a more defensive game and not die horribly. So I am going to do that. And Aid from Lesser Spirits, let's get Portents of Disaster and rush some fear. Alright, I'm going to Cascade the Blight to land 6. Let the invaders build in the mountains. Invaders explore in the jungles. We're going to put the Escalation Town in land 3. And then Tsunami to land 2. Which gets us some good fear cards and lets us push some things out of there. I'm going to push them into land 4, which is just really built up. And now we have a fear card that's going to solve land 5, hopefully something that can solve land 8, but we'll reclaim before that just to see what we can get. So, on the gain a power this turn, I am going to gain a minor power rather than a major, because we've already got a decent heavy hitter in Tsunami for lots of fear. And Veil the Knight's Hunt has got great elements for us, and lets us do some things to try and take out our problem in land 8 or in land 6, either one. Call to Migrate, not so great here. It could be useful, but I think we'll have better Dahan movement with Veil the Knight's Hunt and Dreams of the Dahan. Gift of Constancy could be nice for fueling Tsunami or another major power, but I don't really feel like I need it that badly here. And Sky Stretches to Shore, while generally an awesome power, is less useful for us because we don't care as much about our powers going fast or slow. Gaining the +3 range can be nice, but just isn't going to be that impactful. So I'm going to take Veil the Knight's Hunt. And then this turn, I'm going to play Veil the Knight's Hunt, as well as I want let's see, I want Dreams of the Dahan as well. We're going to use this to push some Dahan into land 8, Veil the Knight's Hunt to get the Explorers out, and then hopefully get something that takes care of the city on one of our 3 fear cards. So we're going to have to take a bit of a fear trust fall there, but that should be all right. So gather 2 Dahan in. I'm going to Portents of Disaster in land 5, because that'll get us some extra fear there. Spirits May Yet Dream gets us a downgrade there, and we get an extra element, but we don't really need it. I'll take an extra Sun, just in case we get something like Missionaries from the event deck. And then Night Terrors and Veil the Knight's Hunt. Each Dahan deals 1 damage. We're going to damage the 2 Explorers and push them. Alright, so Blighted Island. We are going to destroy 2 of our presents here, because we can't take any of the other ones there. let's see. So we'll destroy 2 presence. We don't need a sacred site right now. We'll be able to get it back next turn. So I'm going to keep the coverage of having both lands. And now we get 4 fear cards. So I'm going to deal damage in land 5. Each player adds a strife in land with the Han. So that'll solve land 8 nicely. Each player removes 2 explorers or a town from land with... Well, then that's a little redundant, but that's fine. And then we get to replace a town with an explorer. So I'll do that in land 1. Invaders build in the jungles and explore the mountains and jungles. And we cut off that land 8 from that explorer, so that's nice. Now, jungles are going to ravage, and that's a bit of a problem. So we need to do something about that so we don't blight out. We have no fear cards earned currently, but we are almost to terror level 3. So I'm going to go ahead and rely on Dread Apparitions to solve land 2. And then I'm going to try and set up either... Let's see. I'm going to gain a new power card, actually, and get a major and see if I can get something that'll solve land 6. Because we're going to have 5 energy this turn, and it should be enough to hopefully play something. Instruments of Their Own Ruin will do it. Bloodrack Plague will do it. Terrifying Nightmares will do it. I think I want to go for Terrifying Nightmares because of the massive amount of fear that we can generate with it. So I'm going to do that. And go ahead and forget... Let's go ahead and forget Tsunami, just because we can threshold Terrifying Nightmares so regularly now. So I think that's going to be all right. I'm going to put another presence in land 4, I think, where we've got a nice buildup of invaders. And then I'm going to play... Oh, actually, that's not right. I'm going to place that presence somewhere to get me a sacred site so I can actually use Portents of Disaster. So, excuse me there. That was a misplay on my part. I'm going to use that on land 1, get us Portents of Disaster, and then Dread Apparitions plus Portents of Disaster plus Terrifying Nightmares. So that should get us just enough fear to handle everything. So Dread Apparitions in this land, Portents of Disaster for the extra defense, Night Terrors for 1 more just in case. We get Spirits May Yet Dream. We get to skip and explore soon. We'll take a Sun again. And Terrifying Nightmares on land 6. Push everything into land 4. Alright, perform a Ravage step for 1 terrain not shown under any invader action. We may prevent this by destroying 2 presence. Yeah, we're gonna destroy 2 presence. Because if we take the Ravage step, we will blight out immediately in either sands or wetlands. So I'm going to keep the presence in land 2 and lose the presence in land 7. And we get to add a strife. I guess I'll put that strife on the city in land 4, just in case that becomes relevant later. Probably won't. We'll skip the next Explorer, which is good. And we may push any number of towns and explorers from 1 land. So I'm going to push the Explorer from land 5 into land 1. Invaders ravage in the jungle, build in the mountains and jungle, and don't explore in the sands and wetlands, although they're already quite built up in the sands and wetlands. So we need to rush the rest of the fear deck. We've got 7 fear to go. We can do that pretty easily here by reclaiming Terrifying Nightmares and using Call on Midnight's Dreams. So we're going to just go for the fear victory at this point, and we should be able to get it in the fast phase here. So we'll finish playing cards. Night Terrors gets us 3 fear. Spirits May Yet Dream reveals and gets us an extra element. Then Portents of Disaster gets us 2 fear. Call on Midnight's Dream. Well, we get so much fear. Terrifying Nightmares would do it, but we'll just use Call on Midnight's Dreams instead. And that immediately wins us the game. So that's Brandenburg-Prussia 6 with Bringer. Wasn't the cleanest victory, but again, Bringer can just rush that fear deck and play around Brandenburg-Prussia and stop them from being able to do too much early on in the game, so that we don't flip the Blighted Island too soon. Aid from Lesser Spirits obviously was really nice. Got us a good fear card with some elements for us. And the event deck wasn't too punishing, although we did lose, I believe, 4 presents to it. So yeah, that's Bringer versus Brandenburg-Prussia 6. Hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any thoughts on the game, let me know in the comments below or join us on Discord. Have a great rest of your day, guys.